Okay, so picture this. You walk into Costco, fill up your cart to the brim, roll up to the checkout, and then you realize you have exactly $0. That's basically how we treat our energy every day. Today, we're talking about energy coins, why we keep overspending them, why rest feels illegal, and how to stop emotionally overdrafting. Spoiler alert, it's not about working harder. We're two childhood best friends talking about creative mindset.
I'm Emily Hatch.
And I'm Carrie Schaefer, and this is Honestly, Dear Listener.
Honestly, dear listener.
Woo!
Hi, listeners. It is a day that we're having.
It is a day.
It is.
That's what we can say.
Carrie and I always chat before we start about like what we're going to talk about. And we've been saying lately that one of the many benefits of being friends is that usually one of us is like okay when the other one's not okay. And our check-in today was both of us are not okay. And that is in a lot of years of friendship. Not, I don't think that's really been like a thing too much,
Mm-hmm.
uh, if at all.
Yeah.
Um, and so we thought, well, should we not do an episode? Whatever. And then we thought, we show up talking to you guys about how to get through things and where your mind is with your creativity and what affects that. And I think it would be kind of a shame in a way, not shameful, but it would be a shame if we didn't show up to say, yeah, not today, Satan, or whatever. um,
Yep.
yeah. So we're here.
So many of us are feeling like there is no corner to which to turn that feels safe and at zero and
Mm.
is restful. Yeah.
That's literally what I said before we started the call. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I just don't think there's not a place to turn right now because nobody's okay,
Yeah.
you know? So if I'm not, and none of my friends are, my husband's not, our community isn't,
Mm.
it feels bad. And no wonder we're not like, all right, I wrote for an hour today. Like, it's okay.
Yeah. Yep. And for many of us, we've never been in this place to this degree. There's a lot of things going on. And some of this is very, very new territory. And we don't have a rule book. And this has never happened in our lifetime. And
Mm.
so now would be an excellent time to suspend our judgment of ourselves. We've literally never been here before.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you're not going to know what to do yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a really good way, a concrete way for us to think about our creative energies. You were talking about that you were talking with your business and creative coach, Gemma, and you were talking about how energy is kind of like having coins.
Mm-hmm.
And that if you have the coins, i.e., the energy, to spend on making things or living life or whatever it is, like all those extras that come along that you're like, ooh, I have coins for that.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are times when we don't have the coins. And I think that this is one of those times that both of you are like sticking our hands in our pockets and pulling our pockets out and you know, we got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we talked about Gemma and I talked about this yesterday. And I really liked it. She was like, "Let's talk about it in like low stakes environments," because we were talking about like how our nervous system reacts in performance settings, and but how it can activate anxiety in lower stake settings, and starting to pay attention to what you are spending your coins, your energy coins on, um, in your thoughts, in your like, in what you do. I'm taking it a step further and saying, where are we showing up and having none when we really need them? I don't have a lot right now. And this morning, I started to beat myself up about something. And then I just said, I don't. My husband was standing in the kitchen. I was like, I started saying something mean about myself. And then I said, I don't have coins for that. And he's like, what? I was like, I don't have the energy to spend on this right now, like on shaming myself. I have things I have to do today that I need to have a reserve of energy for, and I don't have the energy to beat myself up for something right now. So I'm not going to spend it on that.
Interesting. Because when I hear us talking about creative coins, our creative energy, I think, oh, well, those coins obviously are to be spent on positive things. But what you're just saying is that we also spend our creative energy coins on things that are unhelpful. Like today when you wanted to criticize yourself. I don't have the coins for that.
Mhm.
And that's super interesting to think about. Like, do I not have creative energy, creative coins because I've been spending them in places that are actually very harmful to me and my nervous system?
Mhm.
I'm sure that that is what I do a lot of the time and I don't even realize it.
Mhm. I mean, and fear is a big
Mhm.
waster of that energy. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be creative energy. It could just start energy altogether because we have to have energy to be creative, right?
Mhm.
So it's like if we're wasting, not in a, you're wasting it, but meaning like,
Mhm.
I mean, I was half joking, but talking about how I can be like riding in the cab on the way to the city, and I'll be like, "Whoa, look at how beautiful the skyline is. I'm in New York City. I am in a giant city. I am on a bridge over a river
Oh
in a
shoot.
giant city on the way to sing a song for people I don't know in the biggest city in the country. What if we get in a car accident? We fall into the river." Like, okay.
Uh-huh.
There's a point where we don't need to spend
Yeah.
energy worrying about how big the city is and that we're on a bridge suspended over a river. We just really don't necessarily need to be like, how about we don't do that right now? Because we're
Absolutely.
not in a survival mode where we would need to worry about that. Let's just, okay, when I hear myself go, what if I'm not writing enough what if I don't make this thing in time to do this thing? And like, okay, we don't
Mhm.
necessarily need to be spending coins on this.
Mhm.
Some days you have more of a reserve to spend on the community and getting involved and helping people and spreading the word about injustice. Some days you don't wake up with enough coins to do that. You only have enough to get your meetings done and cook a meal for your children. And that's all the coins you have today. Do you know what
Right.
I mean? Then
Mhm.
that's okay. But when we come up against this feeling of, "Oh my god, oh no." Like, ask yourself, do I have enough today
Right.
to spend on this? And I'm talking about two different things in a way. It's like fear and anxiety. We would hopefully not want to spend time on that anyway, but but then just, can I save the world today? Do I have that in me?
Mm.
No, I can't today.
Mhm.
I can't write today. That's just not a thing that's happening today.
Yeah. But that's one of the hardest things about this whole concept for me is the idea that I'm limited. Because in my head I'm like unlimited.
Yeah.
My coins are unlimited. And that's just not real.
Mm-mm.
And I smack up against the harsh reality that is you are a human being and you have a nervous system that you want to work with and not fight with. And if I went to Costco, because that is a business I would like to support right now. If I go to Costco and I have no money to buy a TV that I want to buy, And I roll up there, in the big Costco carts with a big giant ass TV in the cart. And I'm like, 1 TV, please. And they're like, great, that'll be $1,500 or however much TVs cost. I don't know. And I'm like, well, yes, but here's the deal. I don't have any money, but I really should be able to buy this TV today. I really should. And I'm like doing everything in myself to like psych myself up to this truth. And they're like, do you have the coins today or don't you? And I go, no, but I should be able to. I really should. That's not going to work. They're not going to
Mm-mm.
send me out the door with a TV because I don't have a way to pay for it. But at the same time, so that seems very logical to me when
Mhm.
put in a real world scenario. But then when I apply it to myself and my own coinage of energy, I'm like, "Oh, no, but you should be able to. You should figure it out." Like,
Mhm.
look in so I'm, like, at home in my brain looking underneath the car seats, and I'm looking in my emotional couch for coins. Like, it's not enough.
Mhm. Meanwhile, you've spent all this energy trying to beat yourself into having coins.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I have to whip that lazy ass into shape
Mhm.
is how
Mhm.
I feel. I know that is not how I want to have talked to myself, but those are the feelings of
Mhm.
like, you should be able to, you are unlimited.
Mhm.
And it's been really, really hard to really wrap my head around the idea that no, in fact, you are limited. And
Mhm.
that doesn't mean that you don't try. That doesn't mean you don't that doesn't this is the all or nothing thinking, right? Either you're unlimited and you can do everything and you can manufacture all of your coins whenever you need to, or you just lay on the couch and you dissolve into a puddle of lazy
And
weirdness.
then that's how you are forever,
Yeah.
and you're never gonna stop. I mean, that's the fear to me is, like, if I allow myself to say, maybe for a couple days, I
Mhm.
don't have many to spend and I just need to get through these things, my fear is often, okay, if so I'm gonna do this, and then now I'm a person who doesn't do anything anymore because then I'm the lady who's like, "I can't do anything," and then
Right.
I'm gonna die having done nothing. Like,
Totally.
no, because
Yep.
this is coming back to self-trust. We are people who are going to do things that are important to us. We
Mhm.
are people who take care of our family. We are people who that's a core
Yeah.
value. Those are core values of who we are. And if we don't do that, and I mean, not like let your kids starve or something, but if we aren't the best snack maker or we're not the person who wrote a song today, that doesn't mean we're never that person.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
today, I can't do that.
Right.
Today, I have to just get my kids to a doctor's appointment without crying the entire way. That's
Yes.
what I have the coins to do. If I do other things, I can't do that thing.
Mhm. Yeah. I've been beating myself up for because I do have like several coins right now. The coins I do have, I need for things like you I pay the bills for our home and our business. That is the way that we are able to live in this house, to have any money for food, to keep going, being able to pay for things.
Mhm.
And right now, by the time I spend the coins I do have on that and my children coming home, making, between my husband and I making a meal and getting them in bed, there really is nothing left, because
Homework
there,
and
yeah,
actually
exactly.
talking to your children and yeah.
But the thing in my head keeps telling me if you don't have what it takes now creatively to do all of that and then make things, you never will.
Mhm.
And I know that's not true because I know that I've hit pockets of all of this forward movement where it was like I jump out of bed and I'm doing the stuff and I'm having the energy for this. and then I'm having the energy to make things like it's just not true. Just because I don't have it now doesn't mean I never will have it.
You could have it tomorrow
Right.
and
Exactly.
then not the next day. I mean, that's something I've been trying to remember because in our extremeness, and I
Yes.
think a lot of people have that, but because of how we were raised with very black and white thinking, it is if I don't have it today, I never have it. I never
Mhm.
have had it, or maybe I used to when I was a better person.
Ooh,
It's not today I don't have it. Tomorrow I might. Yay.
right.
And then if we have it tomorrow, we're like, I'm never going to not have this. And then we're pissed
Exactly.
the next day when we don't again. But the reality is accepting that every day will be different and that we can trust ourselves to constantly want to be coming back to a place where we're creating. But I think we'll have many less coins if we spend a lot of them beating ourselves up for not being ready to do that today.
Mhm.
So, I mean, self acceptance leaves room for us eventually to have the space to do things.
Absolutely. I just ooh, you say self-trust and I'm like, "Oh, the feeling is that it's such a big mountain." Uh, but I suspect that it is not the big climb, you know. It's the little choices that you make to honor, "Oh, I can't do that today." Like, that is very much a revolutionary idea for me. "I can't do
Mm,
that today?" "What do you mean you can't do that today? Get up, do it." You know, like, that's
mm,
how I've functioned for so long, and then now to be like, "No, you actually have an option." And the option is based in what your body's telling you, and your body is smart, and
mhm,
it's trying to communicate, work with it. Like, whoa, this is a whole new world
mhm. It
for
for you and
see,
me.
I knew you weren't gonna leave me hanging on that, Emily.
I
Yes.
am the Aladdin to your Jasmine right now.
Yes, yes. And I'm setting you up, and you just sank that basket, and that is the one and only sports reference you will probably ever hear
You
on this
sank that
podcast.
basket.
I sank that is that is that what it is? Is that what people that play the basketball say?
Yeah.
S I sank that basket?
Should have seen me, Mom. I played so well today. I sank that basket. Yeah, I think
Ugh.
that feels right.
Yeah, I mean, correct me if any of you guys do the sports out there.
But yeah,
I had kind of a brainwave to add to our energy coin analogy here.
do it.
I kind of wonder if there's such a thing as energy credit, i.e., you don't actually have the coins, but you're spending coins that you don't have.
Against tomorrow's energy.
Exactly.
Oh shit.
Because I feel like I've done that before and I have been disrespectful to my nervous system. And it's like, hey, you're spending coins that you don't have. What's your plan? And you're like, shut up and work for me, bitch. And, and then you get to a certain point, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anyone else has felt this way before, but if I overspend, there's a cost when I'm in the negatives. And the negatives for me is panic and OCD times.
Mm,
It's interesting. I always think of panic as this just terrible thing. It feels like hell. Panic
mhm,
feels terrible. Full
mhm,
stop, period, for me. Our nervous systems have this really interesting way of making us pay attention. And it does it in part through things like panic attacks,
mm,
depression, obsessive compulsive disorder. Like, these are all warning signs. Like, when I have a panic episode, it is a warning sign. Hey, if you don't stop spending shit that you don't have, this is going to keep getting worse and worse. And it gets so bad that I'm like, I literally can't function anymore. Now, this is forcing me to stop.
Mm.
And this is an ongoing cycle that I have had with myself to where I am trying to recognize, oh, you're at 0. Stop now. Instead of you're at negative 200.
Keep borrowing.
Right. Yeah. Now, at this point, at negative 200, you're going to have to be on the couch for a month.
Mm,
And
mm,
then you're really not going to get the shit done that you want to get done. So
mm.
stop at 0. Stop before 0. Start listening to your body on that because there are consequences if you don't.
Mhm. Oh my god. That feels impossible. Like and I think I've been getting better at paying attention recently, but it doesn't feel like even possible to know in my past self when I was at 0
Yeah.
because I just have to do it, so I just do it.
Yep.
Like nobody's coming to save me. So I got to keep going.
Right.
And then I start developing patterns of being in debt.
Yep. Well, and I think that we need to acknowledge too that we do have privilege. It is a privilege to be able to lay on the couch because you're having a panic attack
Mm-hmm.
and to kind of bow out. Like there are people who don't have the privilege and they have to figure out a way to work in a deficit.
That's me. My whole adult life. I was raising a kid by myself, working 3
Mm.
jobs. There was no one to let me lay down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think for me, some of the stuff coming up now is my deficit that I never could have. There was no choice. So you have to pay your rent. You have to feed your kid. You have to pick that kid up. You have to make sure everything's okay. You can't stop
Right.
and be like, I'm tired right now, you know? So it's like noticing that, and then what I would do is l- big piles of shame
Mm.
for having that deficit feeling. So like getting sick was a shame because
Mhm.
I was too weak to continue.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's like and if we're in the place now where some of us hopefully have space, or we don't have all the space, but we can at least see like, hey, maybe I need to look at the things in my life that I don't have to do today.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, is there, sometimes that's, I need to go hang out with my friends because that's the thing that actually gives me some coins back.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's like, this is the thing today that I don't need to do. I need to act like I'm at my friend's house on the inside and just
Mm.
go lay down or cry for a while. If we don't feel like we have any space, we could have maybe a little bit. Maybe this is the day we have to order a pizza. It's just the way it is. Just saying, as a person like you were talking about who didn't have any respite choices,
Mhm.
there are little places, or at least acknowledging without shaming yourself why you might feel less patient with your kids or
Mhm.
less jovial about things you used to like. Like, we're running at a deficit right now.
Mhm. Yep. Absolutely.
The more space you can give and grace you can give yourself, the more coins you will have on trying to figure out how to be okay and be safe and keep your family and friends and community safe as well.
That's right.
We need we can't fill that space with shame. It's a waste of coins.
Mhm. So, dear listener, please do things that help you regenerate, help you feel like a human being, a person, and just be kind to yourselves. That's what I got today.
Yeah. Be well.
See you next week.
Honestly, dear listener.